Would rather throw myself in a body of water with 1,000 sharks than to ever experience a situationship heartbreak ever again.
Sorry.
I'd find myself sitting up at night wondering, like, is this even real to him at all? Does he even like me? Does he care? The answer is no. He doesn't give a fuck. He never did, and he probably never will.
I like the sound of that.
About 2.5 months ago, this man ghosted me, and I was honestly kind of heartbroken about it. Not gonna lie, not even gonna front it. I was more upset about this man ghosting me than I was about my long-term relationship ending.
Oh! Ew! Dude!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a really good day. And today, guys, we have women here asking the question, why does getting over a situationship hurt more than a long-term relationship? Now, this is something that personally bothers me a lot, and I really hate it that there are guys out there spending their time, spending their mental energy on these women. They're willing to give them the best relationship that they can. They're trying their best, they're trying their hardest to please these women, to make them feel safe and warm and all those things, to fulfill all their needs, and they miss them less. They care about them less than that one man who just wanted to get between their legs for a couple of times. This really boils my blood. It's absolutely disrespectful. Like, I think the worst thing your ex-girlfriend can tell you is that she cared less about you putting in all your effort than about that one Chad who just wanted to use her like an S3X doll. It really shows these women's mentalities. They just care more. They prioritize more people who want to literally use them like objects than people who love them. All right. This is why, guys, I feel absolutely no sympathy towards these women. I sleep at night like a baby after roasting the hell out of these human individuals, because they are just bad people. All right. Oh well. People who do bad things rather than bad people. They're not these beautiful creatures that get played, get manipulated, that just bad things happen to them. No, they are people who do bad things, and they should absolutely be shamed, all right? I'm a firm believer that bullying is something good. It's what keeps people from doing terrible things. And these women need a reality check. These women need to be shamed. These women need to be told the truth. They need a hard slap to get back to reality. So with that being said, guys, let's start and let's see.
I would rather throw myself in a body of water with 1,000 sharks than to ever experience a situationship heartbreak ever again.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. So funny. Oh, I would rather throw myself to the sharks than be in a situationship again. Well, you know that you can also just decide to not be in situationships again. Last time I checked, nobody's putting a gun to your head. These women, guys, they're so delusional. It's like, oh, I would rather throw myself to the sharks than be in a situationship again. Yet I'm not willing to just decide to not be in a situationship. How stupid do you have to be? These women, guys, they have no other option. You see, it's like they don't have a gun to their head, but they force themselves to chase after the unavailable man. Because as mentioned, they don't value people who love them. They don't value people who will do anything for them. They don't value their bodies. They don't value their own time. They don't value their own identity. All they care about is that little bit of attention, that little bit of validation that they get from a one-night stand from a person who doesn't even care about them. And then we try to be the victim. Madam, you are the perpetrator of all the bad things that happen in your life.
So let's talk about it. For those of you that don't know what a situationship is, it is a romantic relationship with another person that lacks commitment. So yes, you are doing all the couple-like things. You're going out on dates, you're hanging out, you're building that physical and emotional intimacy with this person. However, there is a lack of commitment in that relationship.
Yeah, so a little correction. You invest emotionally into that guy. That guy never invested emotionally in you. He doesn't care. Again, he's there for the physical stuff. He's there because you're a better version of an S3X doll, an S3X toy. And my question is, I have a question for you. If I pay a hooker to have some fun, are we in a situationship? Right? We're still having the physical things. We're still spending time together. Maybe I buy her an ice cream afterwards. Are we a situationship? What I'm trying to say is these women, they go down to the level of being a literal street worker that doesn't even get paid, guys. Like, a street worker is better than them because at least she's getting money out of it. So she decides to be there because she wins something. These women win nothing. They don't even get money, guys. They're doing it for free. So they're even worse than street workers. Alright? Situationships are so dumb in nature and they do not benefit women at all. Yet it really shows you the commitment, guys, that they have. That the importance that one chat has and means to them, that they're willing to get in an unfavorable for them trade just to get that.
9.9 out of 10 times, and I mean 9.9 out of 10 times, you are putting this person on a pedestal that doesn't even exist. You are creating this image of who they are as a person, what their character is like, when they're not actually what they are. So that's why when we get our hearts broken from a situationship, it hurts a lot more than a long-term relationship, because in a long-term relationship, there is that commitment. You are basically seeing that person for who they are rather than who they pretended to be. So because of this false identity that you created in your head about this person, and they don't live up to that expectation, you are going to feel disappointed. You are going to feel like your expectations are not being met. You are going to feel like this person truly didn't give a fuck about you. And it's all because you thought this person was better than who you thought they were. And as terrible as these situationship heartbreaks are, they genuinely show you how much you are capable of loving a motherfucker who doesn't deserve it.
After a lot of introspection and some healing.
Before we continue with what I've been told is modern day Socrates, let's just comment one last time that these women, you know, you'll often notice how they portray their situationship like the villain of the story, you know. They are the poor victim of the situation, and the other Chad that clapped them is like the villain. He's the one that, he got all things and I get nothing. But why is he the villain though? I mean, you decided to be there, first off, so he didn't force you. Second off, he was clear about what he wanted right from the get-go. I mean, is he the villain, or are you just delusional? Why isn't the villain of the story your delusion? Why aren't you the villain of the story? You are the one who had a relationship going with a person who cared about you. You left him behind to go and trash your own life. So why does anybody else but you have to be the villain?
Motherfucker who doesn't deserve it.
After a lot of introspection and some healing, I actually can explain why men do this to you. You know, you'll be like, oh, it's going so well, and all of a sudden he ignores me for hours or days, like he's so hot and cold, this and that. Number one reason is they don't care. You know, I'd find myself sitting up at night wondering, like, is this even real to him at all? Does he even like me? Does he care? The answer is no. He doesn't give a fuck. He never did, and he probably never will.
Yeah, exactly. So it turns out, guys, modern day Socrates figured it out after a long time of self-reflection, you know, and wisdom seeking. They figured it out. Now, will she stop dating these men, or will she go back in their arms? You know, it really shocks me how they've come up with this answer, right? We've seen it on the channel. They come to this realization, just like the first woman, that these men simply don't give an F. They don't care. Yet they go back to it again. Again, guys, it's just no sympathy for these women. Even after you could feel some sympathy, like, oh, they are naive, they don't understand what they're getting into. No, they absolutely do. They just simply don't care about the bad consequences of their own actions. And they expect the same out of you guys. These women, when they round up to 30, they will expect for some simp provider to not care about their past, to not care about the bad consequences, like lack of commitment, you know, commitment issues that they have, lack of pair bonding ability, lack of any partner skills that they may possess. They want you to not care about all of that, all of the bad consequences. They expect you to not care about it in the same way that they don't care about it. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Number two reason is their egos. They have figured out that they can ignore you, treat you however, ghost you, string you along, and you'll still beckon at their call. You've become the punchline of their joke. in an essence. Like, imagine him sitting around with his friends. Oh, look, she hit me up. She does this and that, and I ignore her. But watch, I bet if I send her a text, she'll answer. I bet if I call her, she'll answer right away. And you will.
This is literally what women do with men. And it's worth pointing out that most guys, alright, men on average, they don't have the ability to string along multiple women. You should always think about these guys when covering these women. They're not talking about your average Joe. They're not talking about that guy who, you know, goes to the gym, has his job, is 5'8" or something like this. No, they're talking about that 6'2" guy who earns a lot of money and, you know, is absolutely attractive and has the genes and everything. They always chase the men who are way above their league. And not only that, but men who will honestly tell them, I'm looking for something casual. Brad, he's hot, he's cold, he only calls her up when he's bored. These women know what they're getting into. Again, they just simply don't care. And you should not care about them either, gentlemen. These women, you know, they treat bad 90% of the men, and they simp towards the 10% of men. They simp to that really low subtract of men that have the ability to string along multiple women. Men on average, again guys, they don't have this ability. Men on dating apps are getting absolutely ignored, and men who have a lot of things going on for them. I'm not speaking about the losers, I'm not speaking about the simps. No, I'm speaking about good men who have a lot of things going on for them. They're getting absolutely ignored on the dating apps. Nobody cares about them. Nobody values their time, their effort, their resources. Nobody values them. Nobody gives an F about them. Yet we should feel bad about these women because Chad doesn't give an F about them. But you're literally doing the same thing to other men that you're whining about and complaining that this low subtract of men do to you. So why in the hell should I feel bad for women when they decide to get into that situation? Men don't decide to be ignored by the vast majority of women. No, a lot of men try their hardest to find a girlfriend and they can't, right? They literally can't. But you, madam, you have the option to decide. This is something that men don't have. So who the hell feels bad for these women? I don't understand it. Who the hell watches this TikTok and says, oh, poor woman, she has the option to not be in that you know, disadvantaged situation, but I still feel bad for her.
I've been there. Another thing that's asked a lot is like, why is it so hard for me to cut them off? Why does it hurt so bad when I do cut them off? It's because in turn, your ego has been crushed by them. You know, you have genuine feelings for this person. You'd do anything for them, this and that, and they treat you like shit and you just don't understand it. You know, you're trying to figure out what it will take to, you know, get that response or get that action or get them to talk about their feelings. There's nothing you can possibly do to get that answer. You cannot change a grown-ass man, especially not one that sees no problem with his actions and one that really doesn't care about what he's doing. Trust me when I say they know what they're doing is hurting you and they just don't care. You know, I've been like, oh, I can change him, like if I can just fix him or get him.
Guys, what is it with women trying to change men? I don't get it. Again, you could go for that guy who you don't need to change. He's already there. He's all the things that you want, because these women will say, oh, I want commitment, I want loyalty, I want someone who cares about me. And they don't want that. They could go for the guy who already possesses these things, but they go for the man who doesn't and they expect to change him. Like, what is it with that, man? I just don't understand that. If someone could explain that to me, why women and their nature forces them to do this. It's like, imagine a man saying, I'm not gonna go for the woman who is traditional, I'm not going for the woman who wants children, I'm not going for the woman who wants to be loyal. No, I'm going to that multicolored street worker that has an OF account, and oh, I'm gonna change her, I'm gonna make her want to have kids with me and want to have a closed, loyal relationship. I'll wife her up, you know, I'll make her into a trad wife. What? I don't understand it.
To see this or that, like he'll be with me. No, that's a grown-ass man, and he's not going to change until he looks within himself, figures out that he's acting immature, he's being mean, and he's hurting genuinely good people, and decide.
What? You are the good people? No, you're not. And these men, they're not immature, right? They're not immature. They mention in their bios looking for something casual. They show to you with their actions clearly that they don't care. These guys, gentlemen, they're not manipulators. They're not these really evil minds that are absolutely wise about how they, how they do. They don't set 10-step plans to manipulate these women. No, it's these women that are acting stupid, like they don't see the red flags from a mile away. Because how I know this? Because if these women ask their female friends, is this guy a red flag? All their friends are going to say, yes, he's a red flag. If these women ask their parents, their father and their mother, hey, this guy that is texting me, they know, that only wants me for my body, that doesn't even remember my... Damn it, guys. Remember my name. I'm getting too excited, man. This guy that has a dating history of having multiple women, is he a red flag? Papa, do you think he's a red flag? Everybody will tell them yes, all right? Again, these guys, they're not manipulators. They cannot lie to the vast majority of the population. They can only lie to the women that allow to be lied to and that want to be hooked on.
To make a change about it. You can't change people who see nothing wrong with their actions. You just can't.
All right, TikTok, listen up because I don't have a lot of time. Anyone who knows me knows that back.
Right, so this woman mentioned she doesn't have a lot of time, gentlemen. I don't know if she's in an action movie, maybe a ninja is chasing her to unalive her. She doesn't have a lot of time, so let's go through this TikTok really quick before something bad happens to her.
Back in March, I met this man. His name will start with a J, and we've been in a situationship on and off since March. About 2.5 months ago, this man ghosted me, and I was honestly kind of heartbroken about it. Not gonna lie, not even gonna front it. I was more upset about this man ghosting me than I was about my long-term relationship ending. So that's
disgusting, gentlemen. Just disgusting. And Ampu also hates this kind of bullcrap. So he's just going to pass away. He doesn't want to listen to this woman ever again. But yeah, guys, imagine you're this woman's ex-boyfriend, and this is the way men treat their relationships. When men, a relationship breaks, they will often talk with their friends, say something like, man, I really loved her. I pictured her being the mother of my children. I really loved her. I wanted to be there forever. I'm so sad that this ended. Woman, on the other hand, 2 days after the relationship is broken, they go to a chat so he can clap them. And then when that situationship fails, they shed more tears about him than about their relationship. Just disgusting behavior. These women, not all women, but these women, they don't deserve anything good. They just simply, what they deserve is the cold slap that life is going to give them. They deserve the consequences of their actions to hit them really hard. Because that's the best teacher, guys. If these women got what they wanted, if these women got the men that they're chasing after, they wouldn't learn that their mistakes are bad. So this is why I'm so happy that these chads are doing a service, not only to women, but to us men as well. Because they're just playing them all around.
Or that is. Anyway, about 2 days ago, this man Snapchats me. He's like, I miss you. I'm like, of course you fucking miss me. It's me. I'm the shit. But also, hi, by the way, glad to know you're not fucking dead. Because the only possible explanation you could have for ghosting me is that you fucking died.
Yeah, so instead of this woman realizing that this man hit her up just because he's bored and he wants to have the easiest stock out there delivered to his door so he can spread her legs, instead of that, she says, oh, of course you're gonna miss me because I am the best. And there's no other reason for you ghosting me than you are unalived. How big of a narcissist do you have to be?
But that's not what's happening here. So the real issue that we're having here is that this man decided to grow a fucking mustache. And he looks the hottest he's ever fucking looked since I've met him with said mustache. And I don't know what to do because I am leaving the state in 10 days. 10 days. And, yeah, I'm not packed. He asked me to go over for dinner on Monday. I have to say no. Like, I need it. Just no. But help.
So the TikTok ends right here, guys. And I thought about including this one woman, but she just talks nonsense about hookup culture, and she says how men don't care about us. She says the usual thing. So I think this video is quite long already, so I'm gonna close it here, gentlemen. But as a last note, just guys, don't feel bad for these women, and I don't say that because I want you to be sociopaths that like to see people suffer. No, it's because bad actions require bad consequences in the same way that good actions require good consequences. And I'm really happy that these women are getting the consequences of their own actions. They treat men bad, and then life has its own funny way of making chads treat them bad, right? So they got what they deserved. They got the same treatment that they, you know, in the same way that they treated men, and they don't like it, right? So I think that they're too stupid and too big of narcissists to learn a lesson from that, right? They're too blinded by their expectations to learn something from all of that. But ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are smart and that you will learn the lesson from what we can see. So thank you for watching. Leave me your comments down below, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Have a good one.